For thousands of years, the galaxy was ruled by one name, the Xeric Empire. No one dared to fight them. They were cruel and strong. Planets fell like leaves in a storm. No race could stand before them. They crushed entire worlds with no mercy. Their warships were massive and powerful. Their soldiers were fierce and without feeling. They took what they wanted and destroyed what they did not, but the Xeric made one mistake. They ignored a small blue planet at the edge of their maps. They did not see humans as a threat. They thought Earth was weak and unimportant. That small mistake would change everything. The Empire's reach for 10,000 years. The Xeric Empire spread like fire across the galaxy. Their starships burned brighter than stars. Their armies marched on hundreds of worlds. Any who resisted were wiped out. They ruled with fear. They ruled with power. Many alien races were enslaved. They worked for the Xeric, building weapons, ships, and cities. Some races had already gone. Extinct, crushed by the Empire's endless hunger for power. The galaxy knew one law: obey the Xeric or be destroyed. The leaders of the Empire lived in a giant space fortress called the Citadel. From there, the Xeric king ruled. He was ruthless and cruel. He believed in one thing: total control. No one challenged him. The ignored world, far from the center of the galaxy, a small planet spun quietly around its sun. This was Earth. The people on Earth did not know about the Xeric Empire. They lived simple lives. They dreamed, fought, loved, and built. The Xeric Empire knew of Earth. Their spies had seen it, but the spies laughed. They called Earth a primitive rock, a place of weak animals. They said humans were too slow and weak to matter. So the Xeric paid no attention. But Earth was different. Humans had something the Xeric did not expect. The first contact, the first Xeric ships arrived near Earth in secret. Their mission was simple: watch and report. They did not want to fight. They wanted to study. Xeric soldiers landed on Earth at night. They watched cities and towns. They listened to human voices. They saw people working and playing. The soldiers laughed at the humans. Weapons, small guns that were nothing compared to Xeric lasers. They saw humans as weak, but one human saw them. A silent fight in a small town. A young man named Sam noticed strange lights in the sky. He was a hunter, quiet and quick. When the Xeric soldiers came closer, Sam hid in the shadows. He watched them with sharp eyes. He saw their weapons and armor. He saw their strength. Sam knew one thing: humans had to fight back. They could not let these monsters take their home. When a Xeric soldier moved too close, Sam acted. With his hunting knife, he struck quickly and silently. The soldier fell, surprised and defeated. Sam ran, disappearing into the forest. No one knew what happened. A new enemy. The Xeric Empire was not used to failure. When one soldier disappeared, the Empire sent more ships. Bigger ships. Warships filled with soldiers and weapons. They believed they would crush Earth in days. But humans were ready. Scientists and soldiers worked together in secret. They learned from the first battle. They prepared weapons and strategies. Humans fought differently. They were fast, clever, and brave. They used the forests and cities to their advantage. They fought with heart. The Xeric did not understand this. Human spirit. The leaders of Earth formed a secret group. They shared knowledge and plans. They built new ships and weapons. They trained soldiers for a war no one had expected. The humans learned the meaning of unity. Countries that once fought each other now worked together. They shared their secrets and strength. Every human had a role. Every human had hope. The galaxy did not expect this. Shadows on the moon. Humans hid a secret even from the Xeric. They had built a base on the moon. This base was hidden in craters and shadows. There, they worked day and night. Scientists studied the alien technology left behind by the first battles. They learned to build stronger weapons and faster ships. The moon was no longer empty. The Xeric spies could not find the base. It was a secret that would change the war. The signal one night, the moon base sent a strange signal into deep space. It was a message, but no one on Earth understood it. It was old and strange. The Xeric noticed the signal. They became nervous, but they did not know who sent it. Humans waited in silence. The first small battles broke out in space and on Earth. Humans fought hard. They used every trick they knew. They destroyed Xeric ships and saved their cities. The galaxy began to watch. Other alien races whispered about Earth. They wondered if humans could win. But the Xeric Empire was still strong. The war was only beginning. The warning deep inside the citadel. The Xeric king watched the news. His face was cold and hard. "They are a problem," he said. His generals agreed. But the king smiled cruelly. "They are weak. They will fall." He did not know the truth. The beginning of a legend. This was the start of something new. The start of a battle that would change the galaxy. Humans were no longer the weak animals the Xeric had laughed at. Humans were the wild fire in the dark. And the galaxy would never be the same. The Xeric Empire had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. They were strong and cruel. They destroyed worlds without mercy. No one dared to fight them. But the humans on Earth were different. The Xeric thought humans were weak animals. They thought Earth was not worth their time. They were wrong. The Xeric's response after the strange fights on Earth. The Xeric leaders were angry. Their soldiers were killed by humans. This had never happened before. The Xeric decided to punish Earth. They sent a fleet of warships. The ships were huge and armed with the most powerful weapons. Their plan was simple: destroy Earth and kill all humans. The Xeric believed it would take only days. The fleet arrives the sky above Earth, filled with strange lights. The huge Xeric ships blocked out the stars. People all over Earth looked up in fear. The world's leaders knew the time had come. Earth was under attack, but the humans were ready. They had been preparing in secret. Their scientists and soldiers worked together. They had built new ships and weapons. They had learned from the first fight. The battle begins. The Xeric fleet moved close to Earth's orbit. Their weapons fired powerful blasts. Cities and forests burned. Humans fought back. They sent their own ships into space. The human pilots were brave and fast. They used new tactics that surprised the Xeric. The humans hid in asteroid fields. They used the weather to their advantage. They fought with skill and courage. The Xeric were confused. They had never seen this kind of fight. The strength of unity on Earth. Old rivalries were forgotten. Countries joined together. They shared their weapons and secrets. Humans built new spaceships fast. They trained pilots and soldiers. They prepared for the worst. People on Earth believed they could win. They had hoped. The Xeric thought this was foolish. A new weapon at the secret moon base. Scientists made a discovery. They found a way to use the Xeric's own technology against them. They built small fighters, fast and deadly. These fighters could hide in space and attack quickly. The first fighter was tested in secret. It worked perfectly. The moon base sent messages to Earth. The fight was changing. The human spirit humans on Earth fought with heart. They did not have the strongest weapons or the biggest ships. But they had something the Xeric did not: spirit. They fought for their homes. They fought for their families. They fought for their future. The Xeric soldiers saw this. They felt fear for the first time. The spy in the shadows deep in Earth's forests. A Xeric spy moved carefully. He was watching human soldiers. He did not understand humans. He thought they were animals, but he was wrong. The spy saw humans helping each other. He saw their courage. He wondered if the humans could really win. The secret base. The spy discovered something strange: a hidden human base. It was not on Earth. It was on a small moon. Hidden from the Xeric. The spy sent a message to the Xeric leaders. The humans were not just fighting back. They were preparing for war. The alien signal. The hidden moon base sent a strange signal to deep space. The signal was old and mysterious. It was not from Earth. The Xeric noticed the signal. They became nervous, but they did not know what it meant. The first alien contact. Other alien races were watching. Some were slaves of the Xeric, some were hiding in fear, but some wanted the Empire to fall. One alien race sent a message to Earth. They wanted to help. The warning from the stars, the message warned humans. The Xeric were not the only danger. There was something worse coming. Humans had to prepare. The Xeric King's plan. The Xeric King watched all this carefully. He was angry and afraid. He sent his best generals to Earth. He ordered them to crush the humans once and for all. The humans fight back. The humans fought with everything they had. They fought for their planet, their people, their future. The battle was far from over. The battle for Earth was only beginning. The Xeric Empire was strong and cruel. They had powerful ships and weapons. But humans had one secret: the moon. For years, humans had built a secret base on the moon. It was hidden in dark craters and tunnels. The Xeric did not know it existed. This base held the key to the humans' fight for freedom, the secret of the moon on Earth. Many people looked up at the moon every night. It was bright and quiet, but no one knew what was hidden there. Under the surface, humans worked in silence. Scientists, engineers, and soldiers lived in the moon base. They studied alien technology and built new weapons. The base was protected by strong shields. It could hide from the Xeric spies and sensors. Reverse engineering. The scientists worked hard. They looked at the broken parts of Xeric ships left after battles. They tried to understand how the powerful weapons worked. Slowly, they learned to copy the technology. They made small ships faster and stronger. They built new weapons that could destroy the Xeric's big ships. The moon base was becoming a fortress. First moon fighter. After months of work, the scientists built the first moon fighter. It was small and fast. It could hide in the shadows of space. It had weapons that could cut through the strongest armor. The pilot who tested the fighter was brave. His name was Captain Mayra. She flew the fighter in secret missions. She surprised the Xeric fleet many times. The mystery signal. One night, the moon base sent a strange signal into deep space. It was not just a message. It was a call for help. Signal came from far beyond the known galaxy. No one on Earth understood it, but the Xeric noticed the signal immediately. They became uneasy. The hidden threat deep inside the Xeric citadel. The king grew worried. This signal is not from humans, he said. His generals could not explain it. The king ordered spies to find the source, but no one knew the truth. The moon base attacked. The Xeric found the location of the moon base. They sent a fleet to destroy it. The base's shields were strong. The Xeric ships could not break through. Captain Mayra led the fighters to defend the base. They fought hard and won the battle above Earth, while the moon base fought for survival. The battle for Earth grew worse. Cities were damaged. People hid underground. But the humans never gave up. They fought for their future. A new ally? The mysterious signal returned. This time, a new voice answered. It was from an alien race called the Valari. The Valari were enemies of the Xeric. They were hiding for centuries. They offered help to the humans. The warning from the Valari leader sent a message. The Xeric king is not alone, he warned. If you kill him, something worse will come. Humans had to listen. The secret alliance, the humans and Valari, started to work together. They shared knowledge and plans. They prepared for the battles to come. The shadow of war. The moon base was a symbol of hope, but the war was far from over. The galaxy waited, holding its breath. Humans were no longer alone, and the future was uncertain. The galaxy was changing fast. The Xeric Empire was powerful, but cracks were starting to show. The humans were no longer alone. An ancient enemy from the shadows was coming to their side. These new allies could change everything, or bring even greater dangers. The arrival of the Valari. After the mysterious signal from the moon base, the humans waited. Then, a strange ship, appeared near Earth. It was small but unlike anything humans had seen before. The ship belonged to the Valari, a race long thought lost. The Valari had hidden for centuries, avoiding the Zirak's wrath. Now, they wanted to help humans fight back. A meeting in space. The leaders of Earth met with the Valari. Captain aboard their ship. The Valari were proud and cautious. They said the Zirak were not invincible. They had weaknesses, but the Valari warned. The Zirak king was not the only danger. A darker threat waited beyond. Secrets revealed. The Valari shared stories of ancient wars. They spoke of a time when the Zirak were young and weaker. They told of powerful weapons and hidden places. They said the humans' fight was part of a bigger battle for the galaxy's future. Trust and doubt. The humans wanted to trust the Valari, but some were afraid. Could these aliens really be friends? Or were they waiting for their chance to take power? The answer was unclear. The Ziraks feared. The Zirak king heard of the Valari's arrival. He was furious. He knew the Valari had once been his enemies, but he feared their return. He ordered his spies to watch them closely, preparing for war. The humans and Valari began working together. They shared technology and trained soldiers. They built new ships, faster and stronger. The moon base became a center of hope and power. The warning from the Valari leader. One night, the Valari leader gave a dire warning. If you kill the Zirak king, he said, you may unleash a force worse than him. The humans were confused and afraid. A new plan. The humans realized. Their war was more than just a fight for Earth. It was a battle for the whole galaxy. They had to be smart and careful. They had to prepare for what was coming next. The hidden enemy deep in the shadows. Another power was growing. No one knew where it came from. No one knew what it wanted, but the Valari warned it would come. The battle to come. Humans looked to the stars. They were ready to fight, but the war was far from over. The galaxy held its breath. The war had reached its breaking point. The humans were no longer just fighting for survival. They were fighting to win. With the help of the Valari, they now had the strength to strike at the heart of the Zirak Empire. One name stood above all. King Vazar, ruler of the Zirak, feared across the galaxy. If he fell, the empire might fall with him, but victory would come at a cost. A dangerous plan. In the moon base's war room, the humans and Valari studied maps of the galaxy. They pointed to a place near the galactic center, Zirak Prime, the homeworld of the Empire. It was time to go on the offensive. General Ayla, leader of the Earth fleet, stood tall. If we want peace, we must take out their king. He is their power. Without him, they break. Valari Commander Kurin nodded. He will not run. He will fight to the last. Be ready. Building the final fleet. Earth's nations gave everything they had. Giant ships were built in orbit. Valari engineers upgraded human tech with ancient alien power. A secret weapon was created. Project Silence, a stealth dreadnought that could pass through enemy sensors without being seen. The ship was named Ghostfire. Only one person was chosen to command it. Captain Mira, the ace pilot from the moon base. She accepted without hesitation. I'll bring the king down, or I won't come back. The journey to Zirak Prime. The fleet launched from Earth. In silence. It was the largest human Valari force ever gathered. As they jumped through hyperspace, Mira and her crew remained hidden in the shadows aboard Ghostfire. Zirak Prime was heavily guarded. The Empire knew a final strike was coming, but they didn't know when. Or how. Inside the Empire, meanwhile, on Zirak Prime, King Vazar sat on his throne made of bones from conquered worlds. He looked out across his burning skyline. They dare to come here? Let them. I will remind the stars why they fear the Zirak. He sent a message to all systems. Kill every human. Burn every moon. Show no mercy. The final battle begins. The human Valari fleet arrived in orbit around Zirak Prime. Huge explosions lit up the sky. Fighters danced between flaming ships. Battleships fired beams that split asteroids in half. The Zirek responded with brutal force. But something was different. They were fighting with fear. Ghostfire's mission while the battle raged above. Ghostfire slipped through the chaos, silent and invisible. Its mission: land near the Citadel and take out King Vezar. Directly. Mira and a small team prepared for ground assault. "We're not just soldiers now," she told them. "We're history." The Citadel. The team entered the Citadel, a towering fortress of black metal and glowing red walls. Traps and drones attacked from every angle, but the team fought through. Room by room, Valari warriors joined them, using ancient weapons that burned with white fire. Finally, they reached the throne room. Face to face with the king. King Vezar stood tall, wearing armor fused with dark crystal. "You insects think you can end me?" he roared. Mira raised her weapon. "We don't think, we know." The fight began. The Titan falls. The battle was fierce. Vezar was stronger than anyone imagined. He smashed walls, threw warriors across the room, and roared with rage. But humans and Valeri fought together. Blow by blow, they wore him down. Mira climbed onto his back and stabbed a blade made of Valeri crystal into the core of his armor. The king fell to his knees. We're gods." "Not anymore," Mira whispered. And with one final blast, King Vezar was no more. Silence. The Citadel shook. Across the galaxy, Zirek ships went silent. Without their king, the Empire had lost its mind. Some fled. Some surrendered. Some destroyed themselves. The war was ending. The cost of victory. Myra's team barely escaped the collapsing fortress. Many had died. The Ghostfire was gone, but the mission was complete. A galaxy change news spread fast. The Titan had fallen. Humans were no longer seen as weak. They had done what no one else dared to try. And they had won. Other enslaved races began to rise. The Zirek Empire was falling apart. But one voice remained far beyond known space. Something stirred. It had heard the Zirek King's final breath, and it whispered in the dark, "Now it begins." The fall of King Vezar was a moment of great victory for humanity and their allies. The mighty Zirek Empire, once unstoppable, now trembled on the edge of collapse. But as celebrations rose across Earth and beyond, a new, darker threat quietly stirred in the shadows of the galaxy. This threat was unlike anything humans or the Valari had faced before, a force older than the Zirek, waiting patiently in the deep void. The calm before the storm. For weeks, peace seemed to spread. The Zirek fleet scattered. Worlds once ruled by the Empire began to revolt. Humans and Valeri worked to rebuild damaged planets and fortify their defenses. But beneath the surface, a strange feeling spread. Unease. No one knew where it came from. The ancient signal at a remote listening post near the edge of known space. Scientists detected a signal unlike any other. It was deep and haunting, pulsing through the dark like a heartbeat. The signal came from the void beyond, a region of space no one dared to explore. A warning from the past. The Valari scholars studied the signal and shared a chilling story. Long ago, before the Zirek rose, there was an ancient race. Known as the Shatter, they ruled in silence. Masters of shadows and destruction, the Valeri believed the Shatter had vanished, destroyed, or locked away. But the signal told a different story. The Shatter were awakening. The void beyond was a place where light and sound died. Stars were swallowed. Planets vanished. It was a place of fear and death. And now, the Shatter's power was growing there. The Council of Earth's leaders gathered urgently. The humans had fought one war, but now a greater challenge loomed. They called a meeting with Valeri leaders and other allies. "We cannot fight this alone," said General Ayla. "We need every ally, every secret weapon, and every brave soul." Preparations for the unknown. Scientists worked day and night. New weapons were designed, energy shields stronger than before, and ships built to survive the void beyond. Pilots trained for the harsh darkness of the unknown. The moon base became a hub of activity once again. A scout mission Captain Mira was chosen for a dangerous mission. She and her crew would travel to the edge of the void beyond to gather information. They would face unknown horrors, but the galaxy needed answers. "We don't know what's out there," Mira said, "but we have to find out before it finds us." Into the darkness, the small scout ship entered the void beyond. At first, there was only silence. Then strange shapes appeared, dark ships moving like shadows. The crew felt cold and alone, but they kept going. The first contact, suddenly, the scouts were surrounded. Strange creatures appeared, tall, dark, with glowing eyes. The shatter. They spoke without words, their thoughts reaching into the minds of the humans. "Leave now, or be consumed." A narrow escape. Mira's crew barely escaped the attack. The ship was damaged, but they brought back a warning. The shatter were real. They were coming. Fear and resolve. The news spread fast. Fear gripped many hearts, but the humans and Valeri refused to give up. They prepared for the greatest battle yet. The shadow grows in the dark corners of the galaxy. The shatter gathered power. They fed on fear and chaos. Their dark fleet grew larger. The galaxy's fate was once again uncertain. The final call. General Ayla made a speech to the United Fleets. "We face a darkness deeper than any before, but we are not alone. Together we will fight, or together we will fall. This is our moment." The darkness from the void beyond spread slowly but surely. The shatter's shadow loomed over the galaxy, like a storm ready to break. Worlds trembled, and fear gripped many hearts. But even in the deepest darkness, a small light began to shine. A light born from hope, courage, and unity. This was the story of the rise of light, the call to arms after the terrifying news of the shatter. The people of Earth and their allies knew one thing: they had to fight together, or they would all fall. The great fleet gathered once again. Ships from Earth, Valeri, and many freed worlds joined in one massive armada. The commander of this fleet was General Ayla, who had led humanity through the darkest times before. "We cannot hide," Ayla said, standing before her soldiers. "The darkness will come for us all. But together we will stand and we will fight. Not just for our homes, but for the light of the whole galaxy." Training the new generation on the moon base and Earth's training centers, young pilots and soldiers prepared for battle. Among them was a young man named Yalan. He was not the strongest or the fastest, but he had heart. His dream was simple: to protect his family and bring peace. Every day, he trained harder than the last, knowing that the fight ahead would test everything he had. New technology, new hope. Scientists worked non-stop. Using captured Xeric and Valeri technology, they created weapons powered by light energy beams that could pierce the darkness. They built new ships, faster and more agile, with shields strong enough to hold against the shatter's deadly attacks. One of the most important creations was the light beacon, a device that could boost the strength and courage of all ships nearby. The first battle of light, the shatter, fleet moved closer to the outer colonies. The humans and Valeri decided to meet them in space. The battle was fierce. The shatter used darkness to hide and confuse their enemies, but the light beacon shone bright. Jalen, flying his first mission, saw the difference. "The light pushes the dark away," he thought. "We can win this." A hero emerges during the battle. Jalen's ship was damaged. He was trapped in enemy fire, but instead of giving up, he fought harder. Using new maneuvers, he surprised the shatter and destroyed their flagship. His bravery inspired others. From that day, Yalen became a symbol of hope, that the power of unity. Battle showed the strength of unity. Humans, Valeri, and other races fought side by side. They shared strategies, resources, and courage. No longer were they just survivors. They were a force to be reckoned with. The Dark Queen revealed in the shadows. The Shatter leader watched the battle. She was called Morgoth, the Dark Queen. Her eyes burned with fury. "These insects dare to fight," she hissed. "They will learn true fear." Morgoth's dark plan. Morgoth had a secret weapon, a device that could turn the light beacons into shadows. If she succeeded, all hope would be lost. She sent her spies to find the light beacons and destroy them. The race to protect the light, the humans and their allies raced to protect their new technology. Bases were hidden on moons, asteroids, and distant planets. Yalin was sent on a mission to guard one of the most important light beacons. Betrayal from within, but not all were loyal. A spy in the human ranks tried to give information to the Shatter. The betrayal was discovered just in time. Yalin and his friends stopped the spy before disaster struck. The turning point. The battles continued. The Shatter grew more desperate, but the light beacons kept shining. The galaxy started to believe in victory. A message of hope from the moon base. General Ailey sent a message to all worlds. "We stand in the darkness, but we are not alone. Our light will rise and the galaxy will be free." The final preparations. The Great Fleet prepared for the ultimate battle. A fight not just for survival, but for the future of the galaxy. Jalen, Mira, Ayla, and others stood ready. They knew the road ahead would be hard, but they were ready. The galaxy was ready for the last battle. The darkness from the void beyond threatened everything. The Shatter, led by the Dark Queen Morgoth, prepared to crush the light forever. But the humans, Valari, and their allies stood united, ready to fight for their future. This was the final dawn, the moment when the fate of the galaxy would be decided. The gathering storming orbit around Earth, the Great Fleet gathered. Ships from hundreds of worlds filled the space, ready to march to war. General Ayla walked through the command center, her face calm but determined. "This is more than a battle," she told her officers. "It is a test of our will. We fight, not just for ourselves, but for all who believe in freedom." Final strategies. The Valari shared ancient knowledge about the Shatter's weakness. Their power came from darkness and fear. The plan was to use the light beacons to cut through the shadows and weaken Morgoth's fleet. Captain Mira was chosen to lead the strike team. Alongside her was Yalin, now a skilled pilot known for his courage. The march into the void. The fleet left Earth behind, heading toward the void beyond. Darkness swallowed them as they entered the unknown. The silence was heavy. Every ship felt the weight of what was coming. The first clash. The Shatter fleet appeared suddenly. Black ships that moved like shadows, attacking with deadly precision. The battle began. Explosions lit the darkness. Fighters dodged and weaved through enemy fire. Light against darkness. The light beacons shone bright, pushing back the shadows. Yalin led a squadron through a dangerous zone, destroying enemy ships. His bravery inspired many. "The light is stronger," he said. "We will win." Morgoth's wrath. In her dark throne room, Morgoth watched the battle with fury. "Destroy their light beacons," she ordered. "Let their hope die." Her forces focused on the beacons, attacking with everything they had. The fall of a beacon. One of the beacons on a distant moon was attacked. Jalen and Mira raced to defend it. They fought side by side, using every skill they had. The battle was fierce and desperate. A sacrifice during the fight. A pilot named Lyra made a choice. She stayed behind to hold off the enemy while others escaped. Her ship exploded in a bright flash. Her sacrifice gave the others time to save the beacon. The turning tide. With the beacon still shining, the fleet pushed deeper into the void. The Shatter began to falter. Hope grew. The final approach. The fleet reached Morgoth's fortress, a massive dark ship known as the Shadow Citadel. It was a place of nightmares, pulsing with dark energy. The final battle was about to begin. The assault on the Citadel. Captain Mira led the strike team aboard the Citadel. They fought through endless corridors filled with traps and enemies. Jalan flew cover, protecting the team from outside attacks. Face to face, at the heart of the citadel, Mira confronted Morgoth. The Dark Queen was more powerful than anyone imagined. The battle shook the entire ship. Power of light, using the light beacon crystal. Mira struck Morgoth's dark heart. The Shadow Citadel began to collapse. Morgoth screamed as her power faded. Victory, and lost. The citadel exploded in a brilliant flash. The Shatter Fleet disintegrated. The darkness lifted. But the cost was high. Many ships and brave souls were lost. A new beginning back on Earth. The survivors celebrated. The galaxy was free from darkness. General Alis spoke to the people. This is our final dawn, the start of a new era. Together, we faced the shadows and won. Now we build a future of light and peace. The legacy Jilin, Mira, and the heroes of the war became legends. Their story was told for generations. The light beacons remained, symbols of hope and courage. Galaxy at peace for the first time in centuries. The stars shone bright. The galaxy looked to the future, and the light never faded again.